Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the weekly Nintendo News Roundup Live. Each and every Friday night, the All In Crew breaks down the week in Nintendo news. We got a lot of stuff to get to tonight. The news might be the least, of our worries tonight. We have other things to get to tonight, my friend. How are
Yes,
you doing?
sir. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Really excited coming into the big Christmas weekend. I got some stuff going on with my family this weekend. I got my shopping done, the day before, as is tradition. But yeah, I mean, got a lot of gifts, and we even might have another gift for somebody here in just a moment. But how about you, my friend? How are you?
Doing well. Just got in
Good.
from a walk a little bit ago, and
Nice.
it's a beautiful day outside. Nice kind of crisp winter air outside. We're feeling good. We're here hanging out with the folks
I wish that were
live
the
on
case in Florida.
YouTube.com. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's like high 60s. So it's still warmer than it should be 3 days before Christmas, but
That's a cold advisory in Florida.
yeah. Yeah, so we've had some cold days, but it's very up and down. Like tomorrow it'll be in the low 50s. Going into next week it'll be in the high 20s, so we're all over the place.
Yeah.
But what are we talking about? We're talking about the weather here. What's going on? we need to get into more important matters than the weather, Eric.
Very true.
The way we kick off our show, each and every show here, I got distracted because my neighbors across the street, I'm sure the mic picked that up. They've got the loudest car on planet Earth. So, you know what? That it is what it is.
Well, but in terms of
Anyways.
weather reports, we got to shout out the people who bring sunshine to our hearts.
Oh, I like that. Yes, we need to shout out our patrons at patreon.com/allinpodcast. Big thanks to all of you who support us over there, with apologies for my neighbor's very loud car. Let's thank our Golden Banana Bunch like Rob Yapel, Sean O'Baggins Ashton, Tim A, aka NeoPrime33, aka Nintendo Dad Number 4, Matt, Shy Guy City Murray, Phelan Ward, Bill Tucker, Marcus O'Neill, Liam D, Gamer Jason, Andrew Wilkins, Foolish Fuji, Alan, hashtag Look to the Cookie, Patrice Millette, and Solo Something. Big thanks to our Golden Banana Bunch. You can join over there at patreon.com/allinpodcast. 7-day free trial to the Golden Banana tier. Get a ton of exclusive content and a lot more. Like, check it out. Again, it's free. 7 days. Join their ranks. But moving into our Triforce tier.
Da-na-na-na.
I need to thank Josh Vaughn, the godfather of Tingle Love Tuesday, John Datfast Cummins of the Retro Logic podcast, as well as the On Topic Retro podcast, the Globetrotting Jet Set Nintendo Hub, and Sparky of the Nintendo Hub right here on YouTube, Adam Caparello of the Retro Groove podcast, Shy Guy, the other half of our Shy Guy mod squad. Thank you, Shy Guy. Danielina Hosa, Dan and Luma, Bowza, the keeper of the hugs, and the legend himself.
The Cat 5 patron himself, Uncle Randy.
Oh, a hurricane reference? A little Florida Christmas hurricane?
Yeah.
Cat 5? Yeah. I like it.
That's what we see more than snow. It's been so long since I've
Yeah.
seen snow living down here, man.
We'll get snow every now and then over here, but it's not a lot. It is
Yeah.
rare.
When you hear White Christmas down here, they're probably just referring to the drug trade out of Miami.
That's fair. Yeah, well, anyway, big thanks to our patrons. We
Yes.
appreciate y'all very, very much. Exclusive content dropping there every single week. Put out a video essay this week that patrons
Yes.
got.
Yes.
So y'all can check that out. It'll go live here on the YouTube channel for the public on Monday, on Christmas Day. But again, you don't have to wait. You can get over there and get the free trial and watch it right now. So do that. Links are in the video description if you're watching us here on YouTube. Also, just a quick PSA, I'm going to be doing a stream on Christmas Day. I'm going to be streaming off and on all day Christmas. We're going to start off the festivities here on this very YouTube channel. So if you find yourself alone on Christmas Day, you can come and hang out with me, and we'll have some sweet hangs, play some video games. I think I'm going to start things off with some Born of Bread here on the channel, and we'll see where we go from there. So
Nice.
yeah, shout outs to that. Another quick bit of housekeeping. There's a link in the video description for this as well, but you can still vote on the Golden Aces. The Golden Aces are happening January 5th, and voting is still live.
Do that.
So only take a couple of seconds. Pop in there, get your vote in.
Yes,
And
do that.
Yeah, Quick
You
and
can
easy.
vote on literally every category that we have in the Golden Aces this year. It's not just a community's choice. You can literally vote on every single category this year.
Yeah, that is our annual award show, and you can be a part of it. So hit that link in the video description and make your voice heard. But I think that's the only bit of housekeeping. We do have one last matter to attend to before we start talking news.
What
we have
could you possibly be talking about?
Yeah, Eric's got, for those who aren't watching us on video right now, a physical copy of the IM 8-bit limited edition Neon White for the Nintendo Switch, and Eric decided to spread a little Christmas cheer this year and give that copy away.
Yeah, it's an amazing game. It was up for quite a few Golden Aces last year, and this isn't exactly something that you can find in any mom or pop store. This is, these are very hard to come by, and I'm sure that we have a lot of community members out there that would love to see this on their shelf and would love the opportunity to play this fantastic, fantastic game themselves. So I thought, you know what, why not? Let me spread a little Christmas cheer, and hopefully we can get this to a good home right now.
Yeah, we're about to. We're gonna draw it. The way you entered into this giveaway, we did it on Twitter, and we also, we did this this giveaway the same way we did our last one. Actually, all you had to do was reshare, share the post, rate us on your podcatcher of choice 5 stars, and and screenshot it and show it to me so that, because otherwise I can't verify that you've done it. So we also made sure this is U.S. only for this giveaway, because Eric is mailing a physical copy of the game, and we did our last giveaway, we did U.S. and Canada, and Eric mailed something to Canada, and it was very expensive. So we decided
more expensive than the item itself.
Right, yeah. So it's like, let's just go ahead and make this one U.S. only. So apologies to anybody who might have submitted into the giveaway and didn't realize that, didn't read the the rules or whatever. I did put it in there, but that's what we had to do for this one. So this is only for US, but I do have a wheel picker locked and loaded with all of our entries here, and yeah, it's all ready to go.
That's fantastic. I love that. So for those listening to the podcast, the audio version of this, Seth actually has pulled up right now an actual pinwheel, Wheel of Fortune style, with all the different entries on it, and I assume it's just gonna spin, and we're gonna come up with one of the names on this thing.
Yep, we're going to spin it. It's going to hit a name. I think you might even be able to hear it when it spins. It makes a very satisfying noise.
Oh, nice.
When it spins. This won't probably come through on the podcast, but if you're watching the video, I think you should be able to hear this. So we have it all in there. And then just for ease, I've got the Twitter handles. If the Twitter handle is different from what they have displayed as their username, I've notated that in there as well. So best of luck to everybody. And again, thanks so much to everybody who submitted, who rated our show. We try to do these giveaways as often as we can, and we really appreciate everybody who sent in those reviews. It really does help the show a lot. If you listen to us on your audio feed, if you like what we do, it's a very quick and easy way to show your support for the show. It helps us get up on the rankings. So, big thanks to everybody who did this. So, if you're ready, I'll go ahead and spin it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
No whammies, right. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
Can you hear it? Can you
hear I can definitely hear it.
I love that noise. All right, what do we got? Who is it? Dude.
Wow.
Maurice, my guy, has won this giveaway. Also won the last giveaway we did. Do you remember that?
Oh my god, he did!
He also won the Mario Wonder giveaway that we did. So Maurice, my guy, is just... Y'all saw it. It was totally random. I spun the wheel. Maurice, my guy, is making out like a bandit, man. So big congrats to Maurice, my guy, who won. Again. I mean, I guess we already have his address. It's already there. Easy.
That's nuts.
That's
actually crazy. You guys all saw it. There were a lot of different entries on that list.
Over 20 entries that were on the wheel. And Maurice, my guy, came up again after already winning the past giveaway. So hey, congrats to you, Maurice, my guy. You need to play the lottery, my friend.
Apparently, you guys can check out, if you're listening to the audio, you can check out the video. We did it legit. We did it legit. Wow. Yeah. That's nuts.
No kidding. I mean, we like literally on let's see. Yeah, October 28th. It was the Mario Wonder giveaway he won. So, yeah, I guess like again, we already have his I guess we can just send it to him. Just congrats, Maurice, my guy.
Wow, that is nuts. Little
Yeah.
Christmas magic in the air, I guess. But yeah, congrats on that. We'll be in touch, obviously. He probably had no clue. It's like there's no way I'm winning two in a row. But I guess I'll put in. I've already done the review. I'll go ahead and put in.
You did it. Goodness gracious. Well done, Maurice, my guy. I wish I could be that lucky.
True
So yeah,
story.
congrats. Enjoy your copy of Neon White. It is one of my favorite indie games ever, and I'm excited for you to play it. Definitely make sure when your copy comes in, make sure you tag us on Twitter,
Yes.
and we'll share it around and everything. And yeah, cool to have a little Neon White this Christmas. I think it's
A
a
neon white
Christmas.
Christmas. Yep.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
I knew
I
you'd
saw.
pick up what I was putting down.
I saw exactly where you were going with that.
All right. Well, with all that out of the way, Eric, let's hit some of this news. Speaking of Christmas,
I will
do
say
you
just
think?
just very quickly, it's not really necessarily Nintendo related, but you know what? From a release standpoint, this has objectively been the best year in the history of the industry. However, from a developer job standpoint, this has been an incredibly difficult year for a lot of people, and certainly with everything else going on, Insomniac did not need to deal with this mess for the past week. So all my thoughts are going out to Insomniac. Honestly, I hope whoever did it, I hope you get caught, and I hope you rot in jail. You are a piece of garbage for doing that. I mean, not even just
rot in jail, but I think that they should
Well-
be punished appropriately. Yeah.
Well, it's not even about the game content. They released personal information for
Yeah.
many of the employees and many of the contractors at Insomniac, which is a top tier piece of garbage move. So, apologies to Insomniac for having to deal with that this past week.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, definitely. And there's so many. I mean, this is the industry's been in a rough spot this year for sure.
Yeah.
So, just kind of I mean, there were layoffs that happened like today.
Yeah.
These things are it's just one bad story after another. But in the world of Nintendo, at least, we do have a few things to talk about tonight. I think first and foremost, some details on FrostyFest.
Finally,
which which was announced I think like a month ago, and they didn't they said they were doing it, and they showed like the gear that they were going to be giving out for it, but they didn't say what the actual event was, and now we know when it's going to happen, and we know the three teams.
yes, we do. It's going to be, the standard kind of Splatfest format, and the three teams for this year's Frosty Fest, which is taking place January 12th through the 14th. The idea is actually kind of lovely. How do you like to spend your holidays? With friends, with family, or just flying solo? And I gotta say, I specifically like the key art they have for the solo option. It's like this little octoling with its tentacles kind of curled inward, a nice hot cup of coffee, looking like it's enjoying a spa day or something. I really dig that.
It's very, very cute. The artwork that they do for these is always good, but this is a particularly good batch of Splatfest artwork. Yeah, this is a cool one. I don't this is a weird one for me because I don't really know where I fall on it. Like, I kind of have my toes in all of these this year in particular. Like, my family doesn't celebrate Christmas anymore. My family's Jewish.
Yep.
I am going to be by myself this year because my wife is out of town. So I'm also kind of in the solo camp, but I'm going to be streaming and y'all will be watching me. So I'm also kind of spending Christmas with friends. So, like, I don't know. I don't really know where I land on this one.
Well, even in and amongst the artwork that I just mentioned, I also really appreciate the fact that they're saying it's like, yeah, it's there's no shame at all. It's perfectly fine to be spending the holidays by yourself. There is nothing wrong with that, especially if that's your thing. So, some people have their friends, some people have families, but some people just, they want to do their own thing. I'm very familiar with that. I spend a lot of my life just kind of doing my own thing, and I certainly have no shame for it. So, friends, family, and solo, I really appreciate Nintendo specifically pointing out how doing your own thing, how flying solo for the holidays is a perfectly acceptable and even normal way to enjoy yourself. Yeah, exactly.
Yep, agreed. It's a cool one. They also released this this little like greeting card, which was kind of cute, which features like the really good costumes for Shiver Fry and Big Man.
Yeah.
Because this really, I mean, this is happening early in the new year. This isn't timed for Christmas specifically, so
Not even really timed for New Year. It's happening in the middle of the month. Yeah.
It's like 2 weeks after New Year. Yeah. So, I mean, they're kind of leaning into that more than anything, but like, you know, Splatsville is going to be decked out with the snowman and stuff like that. So, it's going to be cool. I don't know how much of this I'll actually engage with, but I am looking forward to getting the gear, and I do want to pop in and just like take in the sights of it, you know, at least.
Yeah.
So.
I love the fact that they're still doing, you know, like Splatoween and FrostyFest, and they're really, you know, they've added a lot of stuff, and they've done a lot of stuff with Splatoon 3 since it released, and I hope they continue to, because honestly, I think they're doing a better job than they did with in a lot of previous cases. So
yeah, I would agree with that. I am looking forward to it, but this was a big surprise, Eric. That they announced. So we just had the what we thought anyway was going to be the final piece of DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
We had every reason to think that.
We thought so. We thought that was going to be the last thing, but they shared this week that there's actually an epilogue coming and an update next month, where I don't really know exactly what this is, but it's kind of a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, so we had the 2 pieces of DLC, the Hidden Area Zero Part 1 and Part 2, the Teal Mask, the Indigo Disc. We just got the Indigo Disc recently, and we thought that that was just kind of it, that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was content complete, but no, they are actually adding another final piece of content next month, as you said, Seth, an epilogue to, you know, just basically tie a bow on the whole thing. And we've said it ad nauseum. I don't want to dwell on it, but had the game been in better shape, I would be a lot more excited about this. I haven't actually engaged with any of the DLC yet, but, you know, surprise content is still really nice. If you have the, I'm pretty sure this is free with the season pass. So if you already have the season pass, this is going to come at no additional charge. It's going to be a free additional download. So again, that's nice. Another little present to throw under our collective Nintendo Christmas trees. And if you're still enjoying Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, if you're still out there doing all the Terra Raid battles and, you know, you're out there engaging with all this DLC, I'm sure this came as a really great surprise this week. And it is, admittedly, despite the continued issues with the game's performance, it was still nice to see.
I think so too. And it, for me, like, once I saw this, I was like, I think, like, once it's all said and done, I think I'm just going to go in there and just play it. You know, I've got major issues with that game. I think it's disgusting the way they've handled that game. But, like, you know, there is something in there that I really enjoyed. And I think that, like, if they had the time to make that game, it would be one of my favorite games in the entire series. And, you know, I haven't heard anything really particularly good about either one of these 2 DLCs. But I kind of just want to see what they're cooking. Like, I kind of just want to, like, get in and say that I did experience the totality of Scarlet and Violet before I wrote it off. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Once this epilogue is out, it comes out on January 11th. They do make a disclaimer here at the end of the trailer. Hang on, I'm going to pause it. To play the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero epilogue, you must complete a certain post-game event in Pokemon Scarlet or Violet, and you must complete the main stories of the Teal Mask and the Indigo Disc. Makes sense? It is an epilogue after all. So, makes sense. And they are also, they show on screen here, they're releasing a bundle, physical bundle that is going to have the games and the expansion pack in there as well.
Yep. So the final version of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the game will be, you know, we said it last week or the week before, but next month after this epilogue, it should be content complete, and hopefully, I mean, I think you and I can write off this game ever really being the version that we always hoped it would be. But at the very least, I'd like to think that the Pokemon Company has a lot of lessons learned at this point. When they look back and when they go to Gen 10.
We'll see. I mean, look, the reality of it is it's already been a year with no new Pokemon game. So if they do give their development studios a little bit of extra time, I truly think that's all they need. I don't think it's a lack of creativity or passion. I think it's just, give them the time to cook and make these things the way they want to make them. If they release just like that, the rumored like Gen 5, Gen 5 remakes, Black and White.
Yeah, Gen 5 is next on deck for remakes.
Yeah, so like if they do that next year, and if that is next year's Pokemon game, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And let them cook until, literally 2025 for the next mainline entry and make it good. I'll be A-okay with that, personally.
Yeah. There's a lot of developers that don't have the luxury necessarily of taking time, but the Pokemon Company is one of those developers that can absolutely take its time with these games. We've said it before on the show, the Pokemon IP is the most profitable IP in the history of the human race. The Pokemon Company can take their time on subsequent games, and I hope that they've learned that lesson with Generation 9 and Scarlet and Violet. I still really enjoyed the games, I did, but I absolutely can't sit here and defend the performance state. This was something we noted during our review, and even though they explicitly said they were going to fix the game, that has not happened.
Nope, and it won't. And, I, like... And it's funny to me because the argument that a lot of people make is like, well, they have to do it this way because otherwise, how is the merch and the trading cards? How dude, they make the rules. This is their IP. They're not beholden. Like, it's the kind of thing where it's like, yes, I have created this structure for myself, and now I'm a victim of the own structure that I've created for myself. Well, how about you change the structure? Like, how about you change things and you say, hey, we're taking a year off. Guess what? We're taking a year off. I understand that means you make less money, but it means you make a better thing. It means you make better art for it. And it means that your employees are happier too. Because the people at Game Freak that are taking all the flack for this, it has not been a good experience for anybody other than the people who are profiting, So I don't expect that any of that will happen, but in a perfect world, it would.
Yeah. And Pokemon, I mean, especially now that Ash's journey is complete, Pokemon has been absolutely killing it with these short-form animated projects that they've been doing. Absolutely killing it. Just keep doing those. You don't need to create some new main series that needs to continue to keep pace with Scarlet or Violet or Gen 10 or whatever's going on with the next generation of games. Whatever this new series is with these new characters that are following, like let them have a season or maybe two, sure. But these short form projects that you've been killing it with, do more of those and just kind of let the main games, the core games, cook long enough so that when they are finally truly ready to come out, sure, you can have a bunch of cross promotional merch and, the TV shows and what have you. Like this, I don't feel like this is a difficult thing to do in terms of, structuring things long form, especially when you already have winning formulas that you can fall back on.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I didn't mean to get us on this negativity tangent for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but in any case, the story is
it's because we love it so much and we want to see the best version of it.
Yeah, I do too. And I know that there's also the counter argument of well, it's for the kids and the kids don't care about it and blah, blah, blah. But I do think the Pokemon has a very hard task of appealing to everybody and also, being as successful as it is. I get it. But when you are the premier entertainment IP on planet Earth, you are held to a higher standard.
That's true.
You just are.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well,
but I mean,
speaking of
but when you put out a good enough game, if you spend enough time and you put out a good enough game, you wind up in the Variety 500, Seth.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, speaking of recognizing positive things here. We did get some Nintendo names recognized in the Variety 500. I really just wanted to shout this out because, they put Shintaro Furukawa and Doug Bowser in there again this year. They've
Yeah.
both been in previous years, but specifically, this is really cool. They put, for the first time ever, the director of Tears of the Kingdom, Hidemaru Fujibayashi, recognized in the Variety 500. I've got the Variety's little blurb here about Fujibayashi. They say, quote, "It's hard to find someone more essential to the success of the Nintendo Switch than Fujibayashi, who currently directs new mainline games for Nintendo's The Legend of Zelda franchise, working in lockstep with Eiji Aonuma, its longtime producer, who directed several of its flagship titles." Fujibayashi first worked on Zelda through several handheld games developed via Capcom before joining the company and directing 2011's Skyward Sword for the Wii. Fujibayashi then held a command of March 2017 Switch launch title Breath of the Wild that delivered instant success for both the game and the console. 6 years later, Tears of the Kingdom did it again. The first Nintendo price tag to hit $70. The May release exceeded expectations from critics and gamers alike, with more than 10 million copies sold in its first 3 days. By the end of September, sales reached nearly 20 million, making it the 9th best-selling Switch title since the console's release, and Tears of the Kingdom later won Best Action Adventure Game at the Game Awards. End quote. Shoutouts to Fujibayashi, man. Deserved.
Not a company executive, not a CEO or an executive vice president or a board of directors or anything like that. A video game software director showing up in the Variety 500. I do think that this is nice for the sake of those few people out there who still have this archaic notion that video games are still just a kid's toy, or they are not as legitimate of an entertainment medium as books, TV, movies, etc. And I think this was a great statement from Variety. Obviously, like you mentioned, the Nintendo president appears on there again, but especially with Nintendo being such an amazingly global company as it is, having the CEO of that company appearing on the list isn't necessarily a shock, especially as a repeat appearance. But having a software director appear on this list, I think, is a big statement from Variety.
I agree, and I think it shows. I think it showcases that artistry of video games. Of like, these are made by people, not just people who represent a company, not just Furukawa or Doug Bowser, who are. They both do great things for the company, of course, but they are company men. They are the higher ups. They are the presidents. They are the suits, right? So to have Fujibayashi be recognized, somebody who is in the bullpen leading an army of people, I think it's really cool to recognize. Shoutouts to Mute Dog the Gamer here in the chat. Hello, all in peeps. Just saying hi. Vacationing in Florida right now. So there you go.
Nice.
In Eric's neck of the woods there.
Nice.
So yeah, very cool.
But I do think that, and this could, this is me taking something to the nth degree, obviously, sure. But just doing something like that, a lot of the people who look at that list, a lot of the people who actually take stock and put some weight behind the Variety 500 are other executives, are other companies looking to further their own brand. And when they see people like that on the list, they think to themselves, maybe we should consider video games as an outlet, or maybe as a potential, source of cross promotion that we can work with. So that's when you've got, that's how people like Illumination start working with Nintendo. That's how people like Universal Studios start working with Nintendo. So, the more that not even just entertainment executives appear, but actual software directors, the more those are put front and center, and the more that those people are shown to be a lot of the movers and the shakers within this industry, a lot of other big companies are going to start to look at that even more as ways to collaborate with Nintendo and other video game companies. So, who knows what's in the future? Maybe we have Nintendo-themed sofas. Maybe we have Legend of Zelda-themed grilling implements. Maybe we have... who knows? The sky's the limit.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, shout-outs to Fujibayashi, who's been with this series for, decades.
Yeah.
You know, he stepped into the director role again with Skyward Sword, but I mean, he has been, you know, going back to the Capcom days, the Oracle games, Minish Cap. He's been with Zelda for a long time, and he's very important key figure that a lot of people don't think of or talk about when it comes. And he also is the kind of steward of these kind of like stranger ideas. I feel like with Zelda, he has talked about, like in Breath of the Wild, he wanted to have the Minish in there. There's concept art of like Link being able to shrink down, and you know, and he wanted to work that kind of stuff in. He was kind of the person behind the concept of the Minish and Minish Cap, and you know, I like him a lot, and it's cool to see him getting his flowers here. So shout outs to Fujibayashi.
Very nice. Anuma may have been the one played off at the Game Awards, but Fujibayashi was in the Variety 500.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd have to rewatch the footage. He might have been there, but they only allowed 2 people on stage at the Game Awards, and fair enough. They don't want people you know, getting into crowds. But it was just Aonuma and his translator.
Yeah.
But I want to say Fujibayashi actually might have been there sitting next to Aonuma. But in any case, congratulations for making it onto the Variety 500, and you know, not to take any shine away from Furukawa and Doug Bowser.
Of course,
It's
absolutely.
been a banner year for Nintendo. So
Yeah.
but yeah, special shout outs to Fujibayashi. Well, we do have a little story here. This is real quick, but I just wanted to hit on this because I found this interesting. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD has been officially rated by the ESRB as of this week. It is unsurprisingly rated E for everyone for mild fantasy violence and in-game purchases. That's also not that surprising because it is bringing back the Dark Moon multiplayer mode. And there was DLC for that, so I don't know if they're going to be charging money for anything or if it's just going to be listed separately or what, but this is going to have some measure of DLC, and while the game is currently slated just vaguely for summer 2024, the fact that it has already been rated by the ESRB means that the game is effectively in its final
done.
stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what they did, a lot of people don't even remember. This is exactly what they did with Luigi's Mansion 3. Post-launch, they added a lot of kind of weird multiplayer. They added multiple multiplayer kind of game packs and little cosmetic packs. So that tells me this is exactly what they're doing with this game as well. They're basically going to take a lot of the multiplayer aspects that they brought into Luigi's Mansion 3 with DLC and just kind of translate those over to Dark Moon. I don't know how different it's going to be because, I mean, from a gameplay perspective, Luigi's Mansion 3 and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon were, I mean, functionally identical. It was mostly the settings, the puzzles, and the situations that were different. But the Poltergust, I mean, you had Gooigi in Luigi's Mansion 3. That's the biggest difference. So I don't know what kind of carrot on a stick Nintendo has to make the DLC, make the multiplayer in Luigi's Mansion 2 HD enticing. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to be interested to see what form that takes. I'm also curious about the release date. I think that whenever this thing's coming out, I think we're going to hear it. I think we're going to get a hard release date at the February Direct. And, you know, it's currently slated for summer, but Nintendo has been known to release things earlier. We've had a few, I mean, Xenoblade 3 was released months earlier. It was like initially slated for September. They released it in July.
Yeah.
So, like, if Nintendo has something ready to go and they find a better place for it to fit into their timeline, they are not opposed to just going ahead and throwing it out there. So I would not be too surprised if we get to the February Direct and Nintendo says, hey, actually, it's coming out a little sooner than we originally said.
Yeah.
So who knows?
And this is something that we've seen Nintendo do a lot over the Switch's lifespan. I mean, very fail. Like, even going back to episode 1 of All In, we learned about Paper Mario the Origami King a month and a half before the game released. We learned about stuff like Metroid Dread and WarioWare Get It Together just a few months from their releases. So this is a pretty common MO for a lot of Nintendo development teams. I would imagine just for that sake, just for that case, is to have these projects and just throw them into the calendar wherever they fit the best, as opposed to showing something super early and then racing to meet expectations to meet a deadline.
Yeah. So we will see. I'm going to be very, very curious to see where this lands. But we did have a little surprise announcement from Nintendo in terms of a free little holiday update for F-Zero 99, the Frozen Night League.
That is adorable. Oh my lord,
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, these little F-Zero cars with their little googly eyes and reindeer horns, there is something kind of disturbing but undeniably adorable about that.
I think they're supposed to be, those things at the top are always there. I think they're supposed to be like cannons or jet engines or something, but the reindeer horns are the big addition. These are like the sort of like bomber cars that you can take out,
Yep.
on the field, and you can get some boost for it. But yeah, this Frozen Night League, it's a limited time event going until the 16th, and essentially they have made like frozen versions of some of the tracks where it'll be snowing. The whole thing will be covered in ice. The backgrounds will be icy, like you see on screen if you're watching on the video version. And these reindeer guys will be out on the track, and there will be little patches of ice that you'll be like slidier on. It's a cool event. There is some exclusive like badge icons and artwork and stuff that you can unlock by playing it. So that's going on now. I've been dabbling with it and having some fun with it. So check it out if you're an F-Zero 99 fan. It's a cool update. Oh, here you go. These are the icons and things that you can unlock. So yeah, pretty
Nice. Yeah, a little frozen lightning bolt, a little what looks to be like an empty fuel tank. You got a snowflake in there.
Yeah, it's like the border. That's like the border of your player icon. Is
Yeah.
that thing. You can get like a frozen one, yeah.
And then like a white wintry background. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, most of it's basically just like play a bunch of races. Like if you just participate in, frozen races, and you unlock the vast majority of this stuff.
The double-edged sword of this, the almost problem with this, is Nintendo explicitly said that they were done with big content updates for this game. And I would still say that this is a fairly significant update to the game, to the point where now I'm kind of excited and interested in what Nintendo has next month for this title. It's like, if you don't think this is a significant update, I do. Now you've actually got me excited again about future content for this game. So I hope Nintendo doesn't accidentally shoot themselves in the foot by setting expectations too high and then all of a sudden not having anything left.
I mean, I think it's more of an expectation reset than anything. For me, I'm just kind of like, oh wow, like all right, like we're getting stuff.
Yeah.
Like, cool. Like it's a pleasant surprise. I thought it was cool, and I'm glad they're doing it. It's got me. I mean, like I've been pretty spotty with F-Zero 99. I'm not playing it every day, and the player base is dwindling. For the game.
Oh yeah.
People have started to fall off. It does take a couple minutes to kind of get into a game, whereas when the game first came out, you're getting right in. But still, it's a great game, and I do like jumping in there, and stuff like this is a great reason to jump in there. And if you're an NSO subscriber, the game's free, so might as well play it.
But I mean, this is the strategy. When it comes to these free service games, when it comes to these free to download types of experiences, that's how you get people. This is exactly what Fortnite has been doing for years. This is exactly what a ton of other games like this have been doing for years. You continue to drop, little content updates like this. You continue to support the game, and that keeps people coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a tried and true strategy.
Absolutely.
But real quick, before we hit notable releases and say goodnight, I just want to give a quick PSA for anybody who maybe has not noticed. There is currently a sale, like an end-of-year sale on the eShop, and it's crazy. I just want y'all to know
nuts.
that. Like, just go on your eShop and look at your wish list. I don't know about you, like 90% of my wish list is on sale. So
the holiday sale, the holiday sale this year specifically feels like it's particularly bonkers. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's half off or even more.
Yeah. So check that out. But let's hit these notable releases, my friend. You talked a little bit about Terra Nil on the main show that launches tomorrow. So stay tuned tomorrow to hear more of Eric's thoughts on Terra Nil. But that came out this week, and I know you've been playing it.
I have, yeah, a little interesting kind of almost reverse RTS with, or from Devolver Digital rather, instead of using resources and building armies and taking on other enemy factions. What you do is it's almost like you're coming in after all of those armies have made the terrain a wasteland. You're coming in. Maybe that's just my own headcanon, but you're coming in after all of these armies have destroyed this earth and these environments, and you're returning life. You are bringing life back to where there was none, and it's really really cool. It's a really interesting take on the genre, and again, that's available right now on the eShop. I recommend checking it out. Look at the trailers, look at the pictures, and it's a game that I've been specifically waiting for to come to the Nintendo Switch for quite some time. I was enamored with this game way back when I first saw the trailer for it, and just hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that it would eventually come Switch bound, and sure enough, this week it did.
Nice. Well, again, tomorrow's episode of All In, Eric talks a little bit more about the game there, so tune in for that. We also got 2 new humongous games releases. We got Pajama Sam 3 and Freddy Fish 4. Both came out, which is cool. So there's a lot of these now on the
apparently, yeah. Like I was really not familiar. I saw when the first kind of wave of these dropped. I wasn't super familiar with these franchises. I guess they were just after my time or whatever, but like, how many of these are there? There's just keep showing up.
If you did not play a lot of PC games when you were a kid, you might have missed these, because like these were huge, like in the sort of early to mid 90s, huge. Pajama Sam, Spy Fox, like there's a lot of the backyard baseballs and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of this stuff. These kind of like kids games, these are point and click adventure games. Many of them, like Pajama Sam, was like created by Ron Gilbert and Dave Grossman from the Monkey Island guys. Created Pajama Sam. So there's pedigree behind these games. They're like legitimately good point and click adventure games. And now the vast majority, like Putt Putt, like all these series are now on Switch. So pretty cool. And I think they're pretty cheap too. You can usually go in and grab them for, I think, just a few dollars.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. Speaking of games that are not very expensive, I want to shout this out. 20 Minutes Till Dawn released. It's been out for a little while on Steam and mobile, but it released on Switch this week. This is a Vampire Survivors light sort of experience, kind of that Vampire Survivors wave-based, a bunch of monsters coming up at you, and you're killing them all, and it's just dopamine-inducing. That came out this week on the Switch. The big thing with this is all the characters are supposed to be very, very different build-wise. So that's what they sort of tout on the eShop listing. That's kind of what they talk about with 20 Minutes Till Dawn. So I'm excited to check this one out. This is only, just like Vampire Survivors, this is very inexpensive. This is, I think, less than $5. And it looks cool. And it had, a positive reception on, like I said, Steam and mobile. And it's out now on Switch. So check it out. Yeah. I think that's it.
I'll have to check Survivors a lot more than I really should have been, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that's it for the notable releases. Just a quick reminder, again, vote on the Golden Aces. Golden Aces are January 5th. Get your votes in. Again, links are in the description. And also, reminder, we do have a Zelda video essay going out publicly on Monday, but patrons have it now. And I'm going to be streaming on Christmas Day. So there's some stuff happening for us as well. But I think that's it for the news.
Beautiful. Yeah, let us know what you guys are up to this holiday weekend. Let us know what you guys are playing, if you're playing any of these new releases, or if you're checking out any of the amazing content that's been released over the past month, which we actually go into in quite some detail in tomorrow's episode of All In, a Nintendo podcast. But whatever you guys are up to, let us know. Reach out to us on Facebook, on Twitter, at All In Podcast. Make sure to check out our amazing Discord community. We would love to have you over there. And in addition to that, make sure to follow, link, subscribe, all that good stuff to us right here at youtube.com/allinpodcast. If you're here watching right now and you haven't already, go ahead, click the link, click the bell, the subscribe, the notification, all that good stuff. You guys spend enough time on YouTube. You know exactly what you have to do to make sure you never miss a video from your favorite Nintendo content creators. But in addition to all of that content that we create, Seth, did you know that we actually create exclusive content for those patrons we shouted out earlier?
I would hope that I know. Wouldn't that be crazy? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Yes, of course. Of course I knew. Lots of exclusive content at patreon.com/allinpodcast. Head over there, see what tier support works for you. We got 3 tiers over there. You can get a 7-day free trial to the Golden Banana tier and check it out. Again, my video essay is live there for patrons right now. So even at the $1 tier, even at the free trial tier, you can check it out, and you don't have to wait until it goes live on Monday. And there's exclusive content going up there each and every week. So big thanks to people who do that. Again, we have merch, bit.ly/allinmerch. There's also, if you're watching on YouTube, it's down there below the video. And yeah, if you listen to us on the podcast feeds, those reviews are appreciated. Big thanks to everybody who reviewed the show to get into the giveaway. And congrats again to Maurice, my guy. So,
again.
Yeah, again.
Again.
So, yeah.
But thank you guys for hanging out with us, spending part of your holiday week with us. And I will just go ahead and say right here that we have a couple more ideas for new ways and new venues of content that you can engage with All In starting in the new year. Details to come next week. But to all of you out there who have become patrons, a massive thank you to all of you legends who have dropped words and added reviews, especially all of you over this past week who put up new reviews for our giveaway. Huge, huge thank you to all of you. To everybody who has picked up a piece of our merch at bit.ly/allinmerch, and to any one of you out there who has even just shared our content across this vast internet of ours, to each and every one of you, I would like to give a wintry namaste.
Namaste. It's been the news, folks. Again, vote on the Golden Aces. The link is in the description.
Yes,
hit that link.
do
Get your
that.
votes in. January 5th, the Golden Aces are happening. Again, Christmas stream, Christmas Day. I'll be here on the YouTube channel. If you want to come and hang out, would love to have you.
Christmas dream, oh, Christmas dream.
Yeah.
Come out and see Seth play games.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. And then, of course, tomorrow, Saturday, the brand new episode of All In and Nintendo Podcast drops. Kind of a Christmas episode. We're doing an indie showcase on Sea of Stars. Finally, now that Eric's played it, it's I think the longest indie showcase we've ever done. It's like an hour in length.
Yeah.
So we really get into it. And then we're doing the top 5 Nintendo characters that embody the spirit of Christmas, which was a suggestion from one of our great community members and Triforce tier supporters, Josh Vaughn. So big thanks to him for that idea that we sat on for like a year, but we're finally doing it. And we're also providing a bit of a guide through the free holiday updates that we have just been inundated with this holiday. I mean, we put together a list of some 25 games that have received free content updates over the course of this holiday season, and we're going to walk you guys through it and hopefully provide a little bit of a guiding hand through the winter storm.
That's not even including FrostyFest.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So, fun episode dropping tomorrow. Be on the lookout for that. Links are always in the description for the podcast as well. If you watch us on YouTube, that goes up every single week. Again, like and subscribe before you head out. We appreciate you. And have a happy and safe holiday with your families. Go out there, take care of yourselves, exercise, eat some fruit, be happy, be merry together, and stay safe. Don't get iced in or anything like that. Be safe.
Don't get iced in.
Play games.
Merry Christmas, everybody. We love you.
Yeah. Bye guys.